Hi guys, Josh Lloyd here for your NBA first look for DraftKings for Tuesday. There's only the two games on. Let's hope none of these games get postponed. Before I talk about them though, hit subscribe down below, give it a thumbs up, hit the little bell as well, join the notification gang. Let's take a look at these two games. The first one we're looking at the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Denver Nuggets. Look, the Nuggets, both of these games have real blowout potential. The Nuggets are 9.5 point favorites. The total is 219.5 points. We know Al Horford is out for Oklahoma City. We know Michael Porter is out for the Denver Nuggets. In terms of value, it's really hard to go past Nikola Jokic. $11,000. He's giving us almost 60 every single night. If you're looking for that high price guy to build around, I don't really see any other option that's even close to Jokic. And I think that means everyone's going to go for him, but you need to find those cheap options. One of the cheap options you can go with is Isaiah Roby, who the last two games has had some issues with fouls, but he's playing 23, 24 minutes. There's no Horford. He'll start again. And if he can stay out of foul trouble, he should be getting 26 to 27 points. He's already averaging 22 over his last three in 21 minutes. So 4,100 is a very cheap price. So that is going to be probably the most popular combination to have Jokic and Roby out there. Jamal Murray's at 7,300. It took a lot last game, 42 minutes in fact, for him to get to 46 DraftKings points, but I like the price, and comparing it to 8,700 for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who was, honestly fantastic himself last game. I'm not sure I'd want to spend an extra 1,400 to take Shai when I can just take Jamal Murray here. Will Barton's at 57. I think that's probably a little bit too high. Paul Millsap's the interesting one at 4,500. He's only a weird GPP flyer because in general he's pretty substandard most of the time. But he does still have that ability to stuff the stat sheet, to put up 32 to 34 fantasy points in 25 minutes. And at 4,500, that's at least something that's worth considering. I don't dislike that completely. There's not a huge amount else that is fantastic in this game. I guess Baisley, but his salary at 5,600 really hasn't come down enough. Lou Dort's at 51, and he dropped an absolute monster last game, 47 points. But I don't really have the faith that Dort is going to continue to do that. And he'd been struggling a little bit before that last blow-up game. He had 12 fantasy points, 22, 19, which at 5,100 doesn't get it done. I reckon he might be a little bit of a sucker's bet versus someone that's an absolute lock to have in your lineup. And again, because it is a potential blowout game, there is risk of players sitting. And that does put someone like Nikola Jokic at some risk there for sure. The second game is the New Orleans Pelicans taking on the Utah Jazz. The total here is 217.5, so pretty similar to game one. The Jazz are favored by 6. Joe Ingles is questionable, while Lonzo Ball is also questionable. Now, Lonzo was a full participant in practice, so he could be right to go. What that means for Bledsoe and Alexander Walker remains to be seen. If Ingles is out, it boosts Jordan Clarkson's value. Rudy Gobert is at 7,600. Really like that. Good floor value, good upside as well. While Conley has struggled of late. 6,800 for Mike. I think he's still worth using though, because so much of his struggles have been the fact that the Jazz are just blowing people out in all these recent games. He's also having this weird glitch with his free throws where he's not hitting them. I think he can be a 35 to 39 point player. The matchup is pretty solid for him as well. Donovan Mitchell's at 8,200. I think that's probably too high, while Zion at 79 looks to be a pretty good option to me. I'm pretty excited about Zion there, who really did put up some monsters last game. Alexander Walker at 54. He had 27 in 33 minutes last game, which is not bad production, but Lonzo returning probably takes him away for me. And Bledsoe at 6,000 I wouldn't want to use unless Ball happens to be out. Jordan Clarkson's up to 6,500, so I guess the value in him is not really there unless Ingles is out, and even then, that is a lot to pay for Jordan Clarkson. Brandon Ingram at 91, I think it's too high. I'd rather be taking a Gobert, a Conley, even a Bojan Bogdanovic at 5,300 looks to me to be not a bad price tag. It's hard to get too excited about this slate, as much as I'm here to try to tell you how good it is. It's not. It's a 2-game slate with a potential 1 to maybe 2 blowouts with not a huge amount of value staring at us. So it is important to really be careful what contests you're playing and how much of your balance you're throwing out there. Being really careful with money management on these 2-game slates, because they are often one of those weird ones where that weird player coming out of nowhere can put up the numbers. If you want to look at who that guy might be from this game, maybe it's George Niang. Niang. If Ingles is out, Niang might play 20 minutes. He's at 3,700. There is some value in throwing him there in that scenario. Or maybe it's Royce O'Neal at 5,200, who had that weird 48-point DraftKings explosion just a few games back. And then he settles back into being 20, 21 points per game. But there are a couple of options to try and differentiate a lineup that you could potentially throw in there. All right, that'll do it for today. Just two games. That's all there is. Don't forget, subscribe and hit that notification bell. Give it a thumbs up. Leave one of your comments down below. Let us know how you're going for the season. Guys, as I said, subscribe. And you can follow me at redrock_bball on Twitter. You can also check out my channel, Josh Lloyd Fantasy Basketball. You can see that linked in the description. All right, guys, we are done. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. See ya.